Hi, I'm H. From today, I'm gonna go over the English words that stood out to me during my English immersion learning. It's kinda my own review, but I hope it helps you learning English too. Okay, let's dive in.
12 simple steps to be miserable /Nathaniel Drew.
Gunk.
But I wasn't a fan of the floors. There was a weird gunk that made them look discolored and scuffed.
It's informal, something you'd say in casual speech when something looks gross or messy.
There's some gunk stuck in the sink drain. My keyboard is full of gunk. I need to clean it. He wiped the gunk off his shoes after walking through the mud.
Fret over.
But even when everything is going well, you can always use your imagination to find something to fret over.
To worry or be anxious about something.
Don't fret over small mistakes. Everyone makes them. She's fretting over her exam results again. There's no point fretting over things you can't change.
Crumble.
Step 7. Crumble internally.
To break apart into small pieces or to fall apart emotionally or structurally.
The old building started to crumble after years of neglect. Her confidence crumbled when she failed the interview. The cookie crumbled in my hand before I could eat it.
Torture yourself.
Focus only on visible results. Because all of the visible results come at the end, you can use this as a way to torture yourself while you make what looks like no progress at all across days and weeks of work.
To make yourself suffer mentally or emotionally, often by overthinking or feeling guilty.
Don't torture yourself over what happened. She tortured herself, thinking she wasn't good enough. He keeps torturing himself with regret.
Good forsaken.
If you want to be truly miserable, do this. It is at this point, though, that I decided to stop following this godforsaken list, as I realized I just didn't want to do this all alone.
Describe a place that is extremely unpleasant, deserted, or miserable.
We got lost in some godforsaken town. He lives in a godforsaken part of the desert. What a godforsaken place.
Cathartic.
From Haruki Murakami, from his book Kafka on the Shore. It has been really cathartic for me to laugh at myself throughout this whole process.
Describe something that brings emotional release or relief, often by allowing the person to express strong feeling.
Talking honestly about the loss was strangely cathartic. I felt lighter afterward. The film's final scene was cathartic. It made the audience cry, but they left feeling relieved. She found running late at night to be cathartic after a stressful day.
Eucalyptus.
Color that I ended up picking for the walls is kind of like a light eucalyptus color. Haven't installed the light yet. We have a lot of stuff to do. I want to sandblast the...
Eucalyptus is a type of tall evergreen tree native to Australia.
Koalas feed almost exclusively on eucalyptus leaves. The steam room smelled of eucalyptus oil. It felt cleansing and refreshing. He rubbed eucalyptus balm on his chest to help with the cold.
It does take a village.
I feel loved and supported by you. And I guess in the end, it does take a village.
The phrase "it takes a village" means that it's big goal or responsibilities, especially raising a child or achieving something meaningful.
Raising twins really does take a village. Family, friends, everyone helps. This film project took a village, writers, editors, actors, all working together. Even personal growth takes a village. Mentors and friends shape who we become.
Okay, we are gonna go into the next video.
Why are Americans and Europeans so different /Nathaniel Drew?
Wiped out. Extremely tired or exhausted, both physically or mentally.
The US didn't have to do the rebuilding that Europe did after the end of the conflict. So depending on where you were in 1945, you were either exhausted and wiped out, or you were in a position to shape the New World Order.
I'm completely wiped out after work. He looked wiped out after the game. The whole team was wiped out after training.
Ideological. Related to ideas, beliefs, or systems of thought.
So fast forward to today, and it's really interesting to me to see the ideological gaps, the different ways of looking at things between the US and Europe.
He has strong ideological beliefs. The debate was ideological rather than practical. They have ideological differences.
Risk-oriented, willing to take risk or focus on risk.
Western Europe generally has more social programs than Eastern Europe, for example. And so the question is, how do we end up here? Why are Americans more aggressive, more risk-oriented, more willing to take on personal debt?
He is very risk-oriented in business. Americans tend to be more risk-oriented than Europeans. Risk-oriented strategies can lead to high rewards.
I want to pause here a second. I want to stop briefly.
You cross the entirety of the Atlantic Ocean, which was like the filter, and then you put a lot of those people together because they're the only people that make it through that filter, and you end up with a society that becomes the United States. I want to pause here for a second before going any further into this theory on how the US became what it is today.
I want to pause here for a second to explain this. Let's pause here for a second and review. I want to pause here for a second before continuing.
Agitation, a state of nervousness or emotional disturbance.
But it can still lead to risky behaviors. It can also lead to increased irritability and agitation, being easily frustrated and impatient. Hyperproductivity, racing thoughts, enhanced creativity, distractibility, impulsivity, and poor judgment.
She was full of agitation before her presentation. The political speech caused public agitation. He couldn't hide his agitation during the argument.
Tolerance, willingness to accept different endures.
Look, Europe has had to organize itself very differently than the United States. More around cooperation and multicultural tolerance, because when one group of Europeans tries to take over the continent, that goes very badly.
Go bust, to fail financially or go bankrupt.
Also feels like a system that might go bust at some point. So who's going to pay for all of this nice stuff?
The company went bust after a year of poor sales. Many small businesses went bust during the crisis. If they don't manage money carefully, they could go bust.
Turbulent, chaotic, unstable, or full of conflict.
It does look like we're headed towards a more turbulent and fast-changing world. And I guess that's why I'm making these videos, as a way of attempting to make sense of things.
The country went through a turbulent period. She had a turbulent childhood. The plane flew through turbulent skies.
Okay, that's it today. I'll be posting words that I found interesting every day. So let's remember them little by little together. Please hit the subscribe button and tell me your favorite YouTuber. And see ya. Bye.